Good morning, comic fans. Welcome back to Comics in 5 Minutes. I'm Revolano Shorty, and today we're looking at Batman, Catwoman, the Gotham War. Not the first time there's been a war, there's been like jokes and riddles and all kind of stuff. Why does this one stand out? Why is it worth talking about? Well, it's a big long Batman event crossing with Catwoman and a bunch of other stuff, which might not be everyone's cup of tea, but I do read Batman, and I thought it was worth at least checking this out, see if it's worthwhile. Also, because I like Chip Zdarsky, and it's not just him, we also have Teenie Howard involved as well. And these are good creators, so I thought, yeah, let's have a look. First off, I'm talk about the artwork, because unfortunately the artwork is one of the weakest things of it. It's not technically bad in any way. I'm not looking at it thinking, wow, that doesn't look like a proper human, or that's really bad three-point perspective, or these action sequences feel stale. What it is a lack of inventiveness in terms of the characters. When you see Selina Kyle outside of the Catwoman costume, she looks very stock imagey. There's very little inventiveness put into the most basic of aspects to the artwork. Again, not to say it's bad, very talented artist, totally can draw way better than I can, but there's nothing else to it to really get excited about other than it being functional, and that is just unfortunate. Story-wise and character-wise, yeah, the writing is really good. There's a fantastic little sequence with a whole bunch of the Bat family all in one room, and although it's a tight little sequence without many people getting much dialogue going backwards and forwards, the writers do a very, very good job of giving every single person a unique voice and they sound authentic. It's really a good way to show how you can give characterization without having to spend an awful lot of time doing it. It helps that you kind of like these are well-known characters, so when they say stuff which makes sense, you know that it makes sense for that character to do it. It all leads into just playing up the characters who they are. And it's done really effectively. The story is the interesting bit, because it involves a little bit of politicking, I'm afraid, because Zdarsky has written crime-based comics before. He has done Daredevil, finished it fairly recently, and one of the few things about that comic book which I genuinely disliked was his idea that people who came out of jail and were going to carry on committing crimes was because some very rich, villainous people were drugging them with something very similar to the word recidivism. Recidivistance or something like that, and I just thought this is a chance for somebody like Zdarsky, who's clearly a very good writer who knows about real world issues, to get under teeth what makes people reoffend. The idea that there is a prison industrial complex, basically it keeps people in the carceral industry. This was entirely there to make money by people being off people being criminals. We can look at the social state of people who have commit crime in the first place and why, upon being released from jail, they might be more likely to commit crimes. In fact, why they commit crimes in the first place is also a very interesting thing to look into. Just being like, oh, it was a drug, it really rubbed me the wrong way. Here we have somebody, Selina Kyle, who's actually looking at the problem of people keep committing crimes, people working as goons for the bad guys of the Batman world, the rogues gallery, as it were, and how to stop them doing that. And she basically takes them off the street and trains them to be really, really good at what she does, basically a burglar, not a robber, very different things. And that they will actually donate portion of their money to charities. They will not engage in any violence. They will run from a fight, and they will only burgle from rich people. This has lowered crime dramatically. Violent crime down 75%, while Batman has been effectively in an enforced coma. This rubs Batman the wrong way, and this is where it gets really interesting, because for most of Zdarsky's run, a continuing theme has been that Batman is struggling, or Bruce Wayne is struggling to carry on being Batman. He is an older gentleman, and when I say older, I mean in his 40s, and he puts his body through a hell of a lot. He is genuinely struggling. This makes sense. It's happened before, but I think this is one of the more realistic, down-to-earth reasons for Batman's struggle to do his job. I mean, there's a whole Venom Bane thing a while back. This is much more, he is just getting on a little bit, and it's rubbing the wrong way. So much of his identity is Batman. There's a bit at the end where he literally says that everyone else puts on masks and goes and bees Robin and Nightwing, whatever. He is just Batman. In fact, he can't do it anymore really hits him hard. And the fact that Selina Kyle has attempted to do something which will actually lower recidivism, lower crime rates, specifically lower violent crime rates, and he sees that as an attack on himself, that all crime should be stopped. We are Batman, we had to stop all crime. We can't decide which some crimes are okay. But he clearly already does that. There's a whole bunch of stuff that Batman has never cared about. He's been called on it, he doesn't like it. His narcissism is showing quite astoundingly. And if anyone's ever studied anything like zero tolerance towards crimes and various other things, we know that that is not an effective method of stopping anything from happening. It's an interesting comic book. It could go wrong. There's a couple of instances near the end game where I think if it goes a certain way, I might be slightly annoyed, but I cannot hold those against his comic book because none of those things have happened yet. I'm looking forward to seeing how it goes, and I will say, if you are a fan of Batman or Catwoman at the moment, it does feel like this is going to be an essential read. And thankfully, it's at least an interesting, well-written read. I just wish the art was slightly better. I'm hoping that the individual issues are going to pick up on that front. But certainly, I'm intrigued, I'm interested, and I am in on it, and I'm probably going to end up buying some of the spin-off stuff that I usually wouldn't because of event kind of things. But I hope you enjoy it too. That's it for me for now. I'll be back next week. Until then, look after yourself, everyone. Stay safe. Bye!